Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now because today's video is about something absolutely massive that just dropped in the NFL world, something that has every Cowboys fan out there buzzing with excitement and every NFL analyst trying to catch their breath. That's right. The Dallas Cowboys have officially pulled off a blockbuster trade to acquire none other than Jeffrey Simmons, the elite defensive tackle who has been terrorizing offensive lines for the Tennessee Titans for the past several years. This is a deal that's already making headlines all over the sports world, and we're talking about a contract reportedly worth a jaw-dropping $300 million. Yes, $300 million, which is not only a franchise record for Dallas, but one of the largest contracts ever handed to a defensive player in the history of the NFL. This move signals something very clear. The Cowboys are absolutely going all in on building a defense that can contend with the best teams in the league, and they are betting big on Simmons being the cornerstone of that defensive revolution. Now, before we dive into what this trade means for the Cowboys, the Titans, and the entire NFL landscape, let's take a moment to understand exactly who Jeffrey Simmons is and why he is worth every single penny of that massive contract. Drafted by the Tennessee Titans in the first round of the 2019 NFL Draft, Simmons has been a force to be reckoned with on the defensive line from day one. Despite battling injuries early in his career that kept him off the field more than anyone would have liked, when he's healthy, Simmons is one of the most disruptive defensive tackles in the entire league. What makes Simmons so special is his rare combination of size, speed, agility, and power. Standing 6 feet 4 inches and weighing around 300 pounds, Simmons moves like a linebacker but hits like a freight train. His quickness off the snap allows him to penetrate offensive lines before blockers can even get set, and his strength enables him to collapse pockets, disrupt running lanes, and cause all sorts of headaches for quarterbacks and running backs alike. In just a few seasons, Simmons has shown a knack for racking up sacks, forcing fumbles, and generally wreaking havoc in the trenches. And that's exactly what the Dallas Cowboys have been missing for a long time. An interior defensive lineman who can dominate the middle of the line. For years, the Cowboys defense has been plagued by inconsistency, especially against the run and in generating pressure from the interior. While they've had stars like Micah Parsons on the edge and DeMarcus Lawrence as a veteran presence, like the middle of the defensive line has often been a weak point. Simmons changes all of that. Bringing him into the fold means the Cowboys now have a 3-technique defensive tackle who can demand double teams, freeing up the linebackers and edge rushers to make plays. Simmons' presence alone forces offenses to change their game plans because you simply cannot ignore a player with his disruptive ability. The financial commitment the Cowboys are making with this $300 million contract is enormous, but it's also a statement. Jerry Jones and the front office are telling the league and their fans that this is a win-now roster. They believe that by locking down Simmons long-term, they can build a defense capable of standing toe-to-toe with the league's elite offenses. This is not a small investment. This is a franchise-altering move. And the fact that the Titans were willing to part with Simmons after investing a high draft pick in him just shows that Dallas must have put together an offer that was too good to refuse. Reports indicate that Dallas gave up multiple first-round picks and some promising young players in exchange for Simmons, which is a heavy price to pay, but one that the Cowboys evidently believe will pay off big in the coming years. Let's also talk about how this trade affects the team chemistry and dynamics on the Cowboys defense. Simmons is known not just for his physical skills, but for his leadership qualities as well. He's a player who brings energy, toughness, and an intensity that can lift the entire defense. Pairing him with Micah Parsons, who is arguably the most versatile and exciting defensive player in the league right now, creates a dynamic duo that offenses will fear. When you have Parsons rushing off the edge and Simmons blowing up plays inside, quarterbacks will find nowhere safe to step up or escape. This creates opportunities for other defenders to make plays too, which could elevate the Cowboys' defense from just good to truly elite. This trade also fits perfectly into the defensive scheme run by Dan Quinn, the Cowboys' defensive coordinator. Quinn is a coach known for aggressive, fast-paced defenses that rely on pressure and disruption. Simmons' ability to penetrate gaps and create pressure from the interior perfectly complements Quinn's vision. The Cowboys will likely rotate Simmons and other defensive linemen heavily to keep the pressure consistent throughout games, and Simmons' skill set makes him a nightmare for opposing offensive coordinators trying to protect their quarterback. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the risk factor. $300 million is a massive contract, and it comes with high expectations. Simmons has dealt with injuries in the past, and the Cowboys are banking on him staying healthy and performing at an elite level over the life of this deal. This kind of financial commitment can sometimes backfire if the player is sidelined or doesn't live up to the hype. But from what we've seen so far, Simmons has the talent and drive to make this worth it, and the Cowboys' medical and training staff will be working overtime to keep him in peak condition. Another interesting angle is what this trade means for the Titans. And Tennessee has been building a strong, balanced defense over the last few years, but losing Simmons is a big blow, however. With the draft picks and players they received in return, the Titans could be looking to retool or focus on building depth across their roster. It's always a balancing act in the NFL. Do you keep star players and risk being stuck in salary cap hell? Or do you trade them for future assets? The Titans clearly chose the latter, and only time will tell how this trade shapes their future. For Cowboys fans, though, this trade feels like a game changer. It's the kind of ball move that can ignite a team's Super Bowl aspirations. When you look at the Cowboys roster now, with an explosive offense led by Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, or whoever is starting, and a suddenly much improved defense featuring Simmons, Parsons, and a host of other talented players, you start to see a team built for championship contention. The Cowboys have been to the playoffs multiple times in recent years, but have fallen short of reaching the Super Bowl. Yet this acquisition of Simmons could be the missing puzzle piece that pushes them over the edge. Social media has been absolutely on fire since the news broke. Cowboys fans are celebrating, analysts are debating, and rival fans are scratching their heads wondering how Dallas managed to pull this off. The memes, highlight compilations, and fan reactions are pouring in from all corners of the internet. Some analysts are praising Dallas for their aggressive strategy, calling it one of the boldest moves in recent NFL history. Others are more cautious, warning that such a big investment on one player comes with risks and that the Cowboys still need to improve in other areas. But the overwhelming sentiment is excitement and anticipation. So, what's next for Jeffrey Simmons and the Dallas Cowboys? The team will obviously want to integrate Simmons into their defensive scheme quickly and make sure he's ready to hit the ground running for the upcoming season. Simmons will become a key voice in the locker room, and his work ethic and intensity could help elevate younger players and foster a winning mentality. The coaching staff will be designing packages and blitzes to maximize Simmons' impact. And fans should expect to see him all over the field making highlight reel plays. Looking at the bigger picture, this trade raises the stakes for the entire NFC East and the NFL at large. Other teams will be watching closely, and the pressure is now on Dallas to show that this gamble pays off. If Simmons stays healthy and plays at the level we all expect, the Cowboys could become the most feared defense in the league, making a deep playoff run very likely. On the flip side, if injuries or performance issues crop up, the critics will be quick to say Dallas paid too much and mortgaged their future on one player. Regardless of what happens next, one thing is crystal clear. This is a defining moment in Dallas Cowboys history. The $300 million trade for Jeffrey Simmons is the kind of headline-making move that energizes a fan base and changes the narrative of a franchise. It shows ambition, it shows willingness to spend big money on talent, and most importantly, it shows a clear intent to compete at the highest level right now. If you like this video and want more in-depth analysis and breaking news coverage like this, smash that like button, share with your fellow Cowboys fans, and subscribe for more NFL content coming your way. I'll be here breaking down every big move, every game, and every story all season long. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, stay hyped, Cowboys Nation. This might just be the start of something legendary.